Firefighting is unquestionably a profession that demands courage and valor, particularly for those who willingly plunge into the heart of raging wildfires to assist others. Their bravery deserves resounding praise. When Fred made the decision to transition from domestic firefighting to the wildfire division, he understood the formidable challenges that lay ahead. He was aware that the wildfire division only accepted the most skilled individuals, and for good reason. The perils faced by wildfire fighters far surpass those encountered in domestic emergencies. Wildfires move with alarming speed, exhibit unpredictable behavior, and can be virtually uncontrollable at times. It may take days, if not weeks, for teams to gain even a semblance of control over a ferocious forest fire. Thus, specialized squads are essential. Fred was resolute in his determination to overcome the obstacles of becoming a wildfire firefighter, regardless of the sacrifices required. After a year of rigorous training and an almost non-existent personal life, he earned his place in the squad. Joining a team of seasoned veterans from diverse backgrounds across the country, Fred quickly realized that he was entering a realm far removed from his familiar surroundings. His first encounter with a wildfire left him awestruck by the sheer magnitude of the blaze, an experience for which he felt ill-prepared. Even now, Fred vividly recalls the intense heat and relentless wind that buffeted him as he and his team worked feverishly to dig trenches, attempting to contain the wildfire. Unlike the controlled environment of domestic firefighting, wildfires were truly wild. Their behavior was unpredictable, and due to their immense size, there was little that could be done to combat the flames effectively. One aspect of fighting wildfires that Fred had little experience with was the impact on animals. While he had rescued pets from domestic fires before, the scale and devastation of wildfires were on a different level. Animals would flee in desperation, often unable to find a safe path to escape. Witnessing innocent creatures trapped or perishing in the flames was profoundly difficult for the firefighters, serving as a poignant reminder of the gravity of their work. Despite the challenges, Fred and his team always endeavored to assist animals in distress, providing aid to trapped creatures and creating safe pathways for them to flee. When Fred was transferred to California, he understood that he was now among the light firefighters. California's state region is notorious for its severe wildfires, with an average of up to 7,500 fires annually. This results in significant losses of cultivated land and wildlife each year. In 2021, California faced one of its most devastating forest fires in history, known as the Dixie Blaze. This colossal blaze ravaged the northern regions of the state for a staggering 2 months, fueled by a severe drought that had left California's moisture levels at a record low. With such conditions, the fire had all the fuel it needed to spread unchecked. Fred was part of a squad dispatched to help control the Dixie Blaze. Working almost non-stop for 2 months, they battled relentlessly against flames that seemed determined to keep burning. Despite their best efforts, the relentless fire, aided by strong winds, continued to ravage the land, undoing the hard work of the rescue officials and firefighters. The squad faced a grueling routine of alternating between the front lines, where they fought to contain the fire, and the burnt areas, where they worked to prevent the fire from rekindling by clearing debris. It was during one of these tasks that Fred experienced a surreal moment. As he worked to remove debris, ensuring there was nothing left to fuel the fire's return, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Initially dismissing it as paranoia, Fred's unease grew when he spotted something moving in the distance, just beyond the bushes. Perfectly camouflaged against the charred backdrop was a bear cub, closely observing Fred and mimicking his movements. Fred quickly called over some squad members to share the sight, and they too were intrigued by the bear's presence. It was uncommon for a bear cub to be so visibly curious, raising concerns among the squad. They knew they had to proceed with caution, waiting to see if the mother bear was nearby before intervening. While they hoped the cub would soon leave on its own, after 2 hours passed with no sign of the mother bear, they grew increasingly worried. It seemed likely that the cub had become separated from its family during the chaos of the wildfire, and the squad couldn't ignore the possibility that it was dehydrated or suffering from smoke inhalation. Not wanting to see the cub become another victim of the fire, the firefighters decided to assist it to the best of their abilities. Fred stepped forward, offering a blanket and attempting to earn the cub's trust. Surprisingly, the cub responded with unexpected docility, which Fred initially attributed to its exhaustion and dehydration. However, there was a heartbreaking reason behind the cub's submissive behavior, a reason that would soon be revealed to the firefighters. As Fred gently lifted the cub, a sense of relief seemed to wash over the little animal. It was clear that the cub was in need of care and was grateful to have found help. The firefighters provided the cub with water and contacted a nearby wildlife rehabilitation center. Sadly, this cub was not the first victim of the fire to be rescued. Upon the arrival of a staff member from the rehabilitation center, the firefighters learned the heartbreaking truth. The volunteer explained that the cub had likely been orphaned by the fire, as its mother would never have willingly left it behind. The realization of the cub's loss weighed heavily on the firefighters' hearts. The staff member gently examined the cub's paws, revealing severe burns. Further inspection showed that the cub had suffered second- and third-degree burns on the undersides of its paws, a common occurrence in such situations. This explained why the cub had been so receptive to Fred's assistance. It was not only dehydrated and exhausted, but also in considerable pain. Sadly, the cub had no way to communicate its suffering and had to wait until humans noticed and rescued it. Fortunately, the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center was equipped to provide the best possible medical care for the cub. This knowledge eased the firefighters' guilt, knowing that the cub was now in capable hands and receiving the care it desperately needed. The rehabilitation center's ultimate goal was to rehabilitate and release the injured wildlife back into their natural habitats, including this brave little bear cub. Once the cub received the necessary treatment, he would soon return to his natural habitat, frolicking in the meadows once more when healed and old enough to fend for himself. The firefighters, including Fred, were reminded of the cyclical nature of life and the unpredictable ways of Mother Nature. Miracles and accidents occurred as part of nature's plan, with no discernible rhyme or reason. Nonetheless, they were grateful to have been there to provide the assistance needed to give the little bear cub a second chance at life.